Okay, so I have put some of my primer potion down, the Urban Decay, and I'm going to use a color base, or like a cream shadow. Now for this look, I'm going to use my little e.l.f. What is this? It's called Everyday Eye, but it's kind of like their cream shadow palette. And I'm going to use this pink color right here. If you want to use a more high-end color shadow, you can use something like the Estee Lauder Pink Pearl, which is beautiful. Stays put, doesn't move at all. But if you use some kind of primer, if you don't have the Urban Decay, you don't have to use that. You can use your foundation, just kind of go right across your eyelids with that. You can use concealer if you like. You can use primer. Primer will work if you use a primer on your face. But if you have oily lids, I highly suggest using some kind of primer on your eyelids because it will help keep your shadow in place. So I'm going to take this pink color here and I'm going to use a concealer brush, and what I'm going to do is just place that all over my lid, and I am going to put that from the lash line, or the lash line to the crease. For today's look, I am using this Wet n Wild palette. It is called Walking on Eggshells, and these are the colors, just real simple neutral tones. A bit of a pink color, brown, and then white. And I will swatch these for you guys. Those are the colors. The pink, brown, and then the brow bone color, the white. So what we're going to start with is the pink. We're going to go ahead and put that all over the eyelid, or to about the halfway point. Now for those of you that have deep set eyes that are watching, obviously you probably already know that my channel is dedicated to people with deep set eyes. So all of the makeup tutorials that I do are geared more towards people who have that eye shape. If you have hooded eyes, it will work. If you have eyes that are small or close together, this technique will work for you as well. So I'm going to just go ahead and put this all over the lid right up to the crease. What I'm going to do now is take another cream shadow color. Now for this I am going to use one of my Estee Lauder Double Wear cream shadows. Honestly, the reason I want to use it is because I haven't used it yet and I really want to use it. But if you have the e.l.f. cream palette, you can use this color here. It's a very nice bronzy shadow, cream shadow. You can use something like that. But again, I'm going to go ahead and use my Mochaccino from Estee Lauder. This is what it looks like. And basically what I'm going to do is just place that right out here in this outer corner. What I'm going to do for you guys today is just kind of show you maybe 3 different looks using this palette. And the first look I do will be a bit subtle, more for like work appropriate, everyday look, or like for people who just like are more of a toned down look to their makeup. The second look will be a little more dramatic, and then the third look would be more for like evening. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my lid, and I'm going to use my that same brush, the concealer brush, and what I'm going to do is just place that right out here in the outer corner, and I'm just going to tap it, I'm just going to push it in. Not going to take it up onto the brow bone just yet, so if you get it up there, just wipe it off. Next I'm going to use this Real Techniques brush. It is the base shadow brush. And what I'm going to do is just lightly blend this out just a bit. Just really light. I'm not going over it real hard. I'm not using a lot of pressure. Okay, the next color I'm using is this one here from the palette, and I'm going to use that flat eyeshadow brush. Just in case anybody is wondering, this is a 239 from MAC. It is my most favorite brush. I like it out of all of the brushes that I own. I use it all the time. So I'm just pushing this color here, keeping it right on the lid. Don't take it up. This is going to be kind of like our look number 1. This is the more like subtle look. Now what you want to do is take a fluffy brush and just blend over. And you kind of just want to blend where the pink and the brown meet. And just lightly go back and forth. Same over here. Just very light. Okay, that's it for the lids. We are done with that part. What I'm going to do is take the brow bone color, which is this one right here, and I'm going to use that same fluffy brush and just kind of tap the brush in like this. These colors are pretty soft, so you don't have to go overboard with it. And then just lightly fill in the area right beneath the eyebrow. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and curl my lashes, and that will complete the eyes for this look. So I will be right back. So here is the finished product for look number 1. And again, this is more for people who like just natural looking makeup, or not natural, but just kind of subtle, nothing over the top. This might be a good look for students, kind of like a back to school, for people who work in an office type atmosphere, and maybe for someone who's just in a hurry, because this is extremely quick makeup to do. It's not anything in depth, you know, it doesn't take a lot of time. So this is look number 1. Nothing on the waterline. Of course, I did use a waterproof black eyeliner just to tight line along the upper waterline. Because as you guys know, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, when you use something on your upper waterline, it helps to make your eyelashes look a little thicker, more prominent. So I went ahead and did that. So the second part to this look will be for people who like to wear a little bit more makeup. You know, you don't really have to worry too much about your work atmosphere. It could be for like stay-at-home moms who, you know, just like to play around with their makeup. So what I'm going to do is use the concealer brush, and I'm going to go ahead and put that back into the brown cream shadow that I used. Now remember, if you have e.l.f., you can use e.l.f. Revlon has some really nice cream shadows that you can use. This is just one example of the Revlon cream shadows. This was sent to me by App Lady, and I really, really like it. Just to get off subject for a second, this color right here is very, very, very similar to Rubenesque from MAC. It's very similar. I've been meaning to show this to you guys, but I keep forgetting. But it kind of has that duo effect to it. I know I'm way off topic, but I just wanted to show this to you guys. But Revlon makes some really great cream shadows just like this. So if you don't have like Estee Lauder, or even if you're not, if you can't get your hands on anything e.l.f., try Revlon, because the colors are really nice and they have a nice range. So I'm going to use that concealer brush back into some of that cream shadow, and what I'm going to do is run that along my lower lash line. But I'm just going to concentrate it to the outer corner here. I'm not going to take it in too far. Not even halfway. Now I'm going to take a little bit of that brown from the palette, and any kind of brush that you have. I'm just going to use this one, but you know, if you have something like this, or a brush like this is actually an Eco Tools. This was like $5, I think. You can use something like this. Actually, I think I'm going to use this brush. I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to put it into that brown and just pat it right over where we put our brown cream shadow. And I like to always use some kind of like cream shadow or cream color base, because I really think that it helps the longevity. Not only that, but your makeup just pops more, I think. Now what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of the pink with that same brush. I'm just going to go from the inner corner and meet it up with that brown. Okay, what we're going to do now is line our lower waterline, and I'm going to use a brown, and this one just happens to be from Buxom, and the color is called Topaz, but you can use any brown. This is one from NYC. The color is called Mink, And this is a great waterproof brown eyeliner. It's a nice bronzy brown. It's really nice. The NYC brand range is really cheap, and it's very nice too. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my brown and use it on the waterline. And then what I'm also going to do is just get it as close to the base of the lower lashes as possible. So I'm just going to kind of run this right over the lashes. I'm going to go ahead and use my black mascara here. This is just the Clinique Bottom Lash. I'm going to go ahead and put some on my lower lashes. Now if you like to use brown, obviously you go ahead and use brown, but I'm going to use black. Okay guys, so here is the completed look number 2. So we just have our lower waterline lined with brown, and I went ahead and put some mascara on. And you can see that there's a significant difference between this look and the first one. And then also we added the eyeshadow along the lower lash line as well. So this is just a little bit more, I don't want to say it's dramatic, but compared to our first look it is. So what I'm going to do now is turn this into more of like an evening look for those of you who want to wear makeup with these colors or using this palette. And again, we're using the Walking on Eggshells. So what I'm going to do is, obviously when you're putting your makeup on, you're not going to want to do your mascara first, but obviously for the sake of the video, so what I'm going to do is take some more of that brown color right here. I'm going to use my flat eyeshadow brush, again the MAC 239, and what I'm going to do is take this brown right out here at the outer corner, right up onto the brow bone. I'm going to work that color over. You can see it darkened up a lot. Then I'm going to also bring the color down onto the lid to darken this area up. Then what you want to do is take your fluffy brush and just start blending over. Now what we're going to do is take a little bit more of that white highlight color on a little brush, and we're going to put that right into the inner corner here. Just pull it up. And then bring it down around to the bottom as well. What we're going to do now is take some more of the white and we're going to put it right underneath the arch. And I'm going to use this brush here. This is the Ulta Crease brush. The reason that I decided to use this is because the bristles are short and they're a little more dense. So this will give me a little bit brighter, a little bit heavier application right in this area here, as opposed to using just my fluffy brush, which you can see there's quite a difference. The more dense the brush is, the heavier the application. So I'm just going to run this right underneath the eyebrow and kind of pull it in, and then out this way. Okay, what I'm going to do now is take a little bit of that original pink cream color that I used from my e.l.f. palette, and I'm going to place that along the lower lash line and just go about halfway with it. And then next I'm going to go back into the palette and I'm going to take a little bit more of the pink shadow. And I am going to use, I think I'll just stick with the same brush. Go right back into that pink. And just push that in right on top of the cream color that you just placed. Next we're going to take a little bit more of the brown. I'm just going to use this brush because it just happens to be in my hand, and I'm going to push it back into this outer corner and darken that up quite a bit. Now if you like a little more of a messy look, then what you can do is change your brush. You can use something like this, and what that'll do is it will kind of bring that color down much further below the lash line. You can pull it up a little bit too. So you can see that that is quite messy, but some people like it like that. Some people don't like to have like a very well like put together look. They like it to be a little bit more messy, so that's definitely a lot messier. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab some false lashes. So I'm going to go ahead and put some false lashes on. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to put on. Obviously you'll see in just a second. But I'm going to use some black eyeliner on the waterlines, put some false lashes on, and I will be right back. Okay guys, this is the final look. Now, I have to be honest with you. After I put the false lashes on, I was using some, what is this? This is eyeliner, but it's, I can't even think because I'm so aggravated. Anyway, I used this eyeliner, and I forgot that my sister-in-law was coming over with her son. So my dogs are outside, but they're like right there. So as I was putting the liquid liner, on, my dog started barking, and I jumped. And when I jumped, I went up too high. So the eyeliner looks awful. It's way thicker than I wanted it. But I realized that a lot of people like wearing really thick eyeliner. I don't, because when you look at me, all you can see is black. Oh, I'm so aggravated. Anyway, so what I did was I lined the upper and lower water lines with black. I did some heavy liquid liner, and I kind of winged it out a little bit here at the sides. What I did was I lined my lower waterline with black, and then I smudged it with this. And then just below where I smudged it, I used a little bit of the pink from that Walking on Eggshells palette. And so I kind of had like a messy look going on right now at the moment. So this would be obviously something more dramatic, maybe for going partying, because I don't know anybody who would want to do this to go out on a date, because this is ridiculously dark and just crazy. I will tell you, on my lips I used a little bit of, well, I lined with my Miami lip liner from Napoleon Perdue. You can get these at Target. I used my Revlon Color Burst lipstick in Peach. This is the color. It's beautiful. And then I used my Marcel lip gloss from, it's called Multi Zebra. I got this from Wendy. Wendy lives in Canada. And for those of you that are interested in doing that swap, don't forget Tamra is looking for somebody to swap with. And you can get beautiful products like this Marcel lip gloss. I think this was a limited edition, but still, they have great, Marcel's a great line. So you can get something like that if you decide to do a swap. Let's see, on my face, I used my Sephora Mineral Powder or Foundation. And then for my bronzer, I used my Clarins Mosaic Bronzer. On my cheeks, I love, this is my favorite blush. It's from Palladio. It's called Wish. And this is the blush that I have on. It's beautiful. I really, really like that a lot. And that's it. That's all I got. My eyebrows, I just filled in a little bit with that Sephora, the Sephora brow tint, and then I just slightly went over it with a little bit of powder, and that was it. So don't mind the hair. You guys, I'm getting my hair cut this coming week. Remember when I don't know if any of you remember, but when I did that ProMend video, I said I was going to wait till August. Well, I absolutely cannot wait anymore. There is no shampoo on the face of the earth that is going to take care of what's going on with my hair at the moment. So I'm getting it cut. I plan on doing like a before and after video to show you guys how long my hair is, because my hair got really long. And then I'll show you the after. So you guys take care, have a good weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye. Oh, and I wanted to say thank you to this person here. I really am sorry. I can't think of your channel name at the moment, but I'll put it up here. Thank you for requesting this today, and I hope it helps. Let me know what you think. Alright guys, take care. Bye.